Macaulay Culkin, once the world's most famous child star thanks to the unprecedented success of Home Alone and its sequels, has faced a life filled with both immense privilege and profound personal challenges. And while his early fame brought him unimaginable opportunities and a household name status, it also came with pressures and scrutiny that few children can withstand, creating a complex backdrop for the tragedy that now defines much of his public narrative. Born in 1980 into a family already familiar with show business, Culkin's childhood was marked by rapid success, intense public attention, and, according to interviews he has given, conflicting family dynamics that contributed to both professional advancement and personal hardship, including legal disputes over his earnings and the management of his career at a young age, which eventually led him to step back from acting in the mid-1990s in search of a more normal life. Throughout his adolescence and adult years, Culkin has battled the lingering effects of early fame, including struggles with mental health, substance use, and the difficulty of navigating an identity separate from the character of Kevin McAllister, which the public still strongly associates with him, making it harder for him to define himself outside of that role, a challenge familiar to many child actors but intensified by the extreme level of attention he received. In addition to the pressures of fame, Culkin's personal life has been punctuated by publicized relationships, controversial social media moments, and his association with other high-profile figures, most notably Michael Jackson, who Culkin has stated was a friend during his youth, highlighting the blurred lines between personal connection and public speculation in his life, as every association and choice is scrutinized through the lens of celebrity gossip, further complicating his efforts to maintain personal stability and privacy. The tragedy of Culkin's life is not solely rooted in external pressures, however, but also in the internal struggle to reconcile a traumatic early career, the loss of normal childhood experiences, and the yearning for authentic human connection that fame often disrupts, making his story resonate with audiences who see in him both the extraordinary success of a prodigy and the human cost of being thrust into the spotlight too young. Despite stepping away from mainstream Hollywood, Culkin has attempted to reclaim his life through smaller creative projects, music collaborations, podcasting, and occasional acting roles, yet each endeavor is inevitably compared to the peak of his early fame, reinforcing the narrative of a talent whose potential seems both celebrated and constrained by the very phenomenon that made him famous. Adding to this, his personal reflections, shared in interviews and occasional social media posts, reveal a man grappling with the weight of nostalgia, regret, and the desire to live a life defined on his own terms, all while being continuously framed by the public and media as a cautionary tale of childhood fame gone awry, demonstrating how the entertainment industry can elevate and isolate simultaneously, leaving lasting psychological and emotional impacts. Furthermore, Culkin's story intersects with larger cultural conversations about child actors, mental health, celebrity culture, and the responsibilities of families, managers, and the media in protecting young talent from exploitation and trauma, highlighting that the tragedy is both individual and systemic, as it reflects broader patterns in Hollywood where child stars often face disproportionate pressure and scrutiny, sometimes at the cost of their personal development and well-being. Ultimately, the heartbreak of Macaulay Culkin's life at 45 is not defined by scandal or sensational headlines alone, but by the accumulation of missed childhood moments, ongoing personal struggles, and the difficulty of forging a meaningful adult identity after being immortalized as one of the most recognizable child actors in history, making his story a poignant reminder of the human cost behind fame, the fragility of childhood innocence, and the lasting shadows that can accompany extraordinary early success, as well as the resilience required to continue living, creating, and finding personal fulfillment despite the weight of public expectation.